All right. So I've walked into 3 different spider webs at the beginning of each video. I had a bug fly in my eye the other day, and it's still a little bit red from that. It's really interesting. Anyways, so I'm not talking negatively. I think it's hilarious that some of these things kind of happen as, I guess, pointers into a different direction or something. So I could segue into the topic. I was going to talk about collective consciousness, but actually I could talk about how to use events in your life to give you a message towards where you need to be going, what you need to be doing, and how to connect yourself with synchronicity and kind of start to ride the wave of intuition and start to see, I guess, more patterns or ways of going about seeing things that basically connect different things that normally wouldn't connect together. So scientifically, this would be like the science of taking your brain and connecting the left and the right hemispheres. Physically, what that manifests as is a strong intuitional understanding and awareness to where it's almost, I guess, uncanny for some people, the level of intuitional awareness that you can have. And what I mean by this is that the intuitional awareness happens to kind of expand in its properties. So everybody has an intuition that they can listen to. And even if you close your heart off completely, you still have the ability to be able to listen to an intuition. A lot of times intuition comes from the higher mind or higher self, but also at the same time, it's possible that higher self is connected with, and not possible, it is, that higher self is connected to the Akashic Records and is able to feed information from the Akashic Records to you before something happens. So like the way that the Akashic Records works is that it's basically like this thing where it's a collection of information, and it's basically like everything that has happened from objective perspective and subjective perspective, and it's all coalesced into one kind of, like, basically it works the way that like a what are they called, a quantum computer works. So it kind of works that same way, which is like all of these states of existence sit in this thing, but depending on where you focus your attention is where the information is going to kind of like go. So no matter what it is that you do, you're always able to tap into a different source of information, but it's all coming from the same source. So it's basically like different perspectives of the same thing, and it's tapping into those different perspectives of the same thing. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so using your intuitional awareness to be able to, I guess, connect the hemispheres of your brain, or to start to experience synchronicity more. So basically what you're doing is you're starting to, first of all, you're starting to see the connection between the mind, body, and the spirit. So the connection of the left and right hemispheres has to do with the mind, but it also affects the body and therefore affects the overall spirit. So when you connect the two hemispheres by basically using, how do I explain this? It's using illogical thinking, but it's not illogical because it's emotional. So you basically, like, you tune, and this is only if you've, like, say if you've been an emotional kind of person, you've always run off of your emotions, then the thing for you to do would be to start to look at things in a very logical way and just try to incorporate that viewpoint into your mind. And you have the creative and the logical sides. So when you connect the two of them, then you have a creativity that comes from the heart and it comes from intuition, but it is in base of logic and science. So basically, like, you can explain your intuition to other people in a way that is logically able to be comprehended. And this is like the connection of the two kind of things. Yeah, I know my eye looks kind of weird. So I basically, like, a bug flew in my eye the other day, and I was like scratching at it all day yesterday, and I think I got out most of the stuff, but now it's like kind of like a little bit swollen and red. Should be good in like a day or so. But anyways, so another thing that you can do to start to connect yourself with everything around you is, like, because what happens is once these two parts of the brain start to connect with each other, what you can do is, like, you'll see that the connection is not only mental and inside of your brain, it's reflected externally too. So you feel more connected with everything around you as well, because you are literally more connected in yourself. So if you can actually bring those two together, and then also you take this kind of intellect and then bring it here for confirmation or something like that, then you can actually start to use the two together in harmony and kind of like almost troubleshoot your intuition using your intellect, but without cutting through the intuition with the intellect. So to experience more synchronicity, I think one thing that you can do is to start to look for it in your life. So you have to understand what synchronicity really like is and what it looks like, and what it feels like as well, because there's a specific feeling that you get from synchronicity, where it feels like this weird connected feeling with everything around you, but it feels as though there's something almost specifically talking to you through everything around you. The way to experience more of it is to start to acknowledge whenever you are experiencing synchronicity, and to experience gratitude for it, first of all, and then secondly, to really acknowledge it, like you can even acknowledge it out loud, like, wow, that was an amazing synchronicity, and I would love to have more of these, or I would love to experience this again, and then basically, I knew that was there too. Basically what you do is you look out for synchronicities. So it's not like you continuously pick up your phone all day long and you check for 11:11. This is not what I mean. What I mean is you look in your external reality and you try to find the reflections of what you're thinking about in things that are happening externally from you. So you literally, like, you'll be thinking about something, and then if you can kind of, like, in the middle of thinking about something, if you can start to notice your thoughts, then you can actually connect your thoughts with what's going on around you, because that connection with everything that's happening is so vast that once you actually understand that you're creating everything that you're experiencing, you can experience synchronicity a lot of the time. And what you can do is you can really start to, see your thoughts projected in front of you through other things. And the deeper you go, the deeper it goes. So you can really get to a point where you're so connected with everything around you that all the thoughts of everything around you and the feelings and emotions and everything, and this is where the collective consciousness comes in, but all those thoughts and emotions and everything will start to permeate in you, and kind of like what's called enveloped in your aura. So basically what happens is your body kind of takes on that information, and then when it's taking on that information, it basically, like, it takes it on as its own. So oh my goodness, I'm trying to think of the word for it. Goodness gracious, I'm sorry, I just got a super evil eye from somebody. Anyways, so I guess that was probably going off on a tangent or something like that. So going deeper into the synchronicity, though, is like the way that it's experienced is really interesting, because it's like it's almost as if you're experiencing yourself through other people and other things and other events and situations and things. And you start to see how connected you really are with everything, because when you experience synchronicity, you're experiencing your mind being reflected in the external reality. And that is the kind of thing that I think that a lot of people don't really understand, is that it's not just like these kind of coincidences that keep popping up. It is literally reality trying to show you the reflection of your mind to you. And it's trying to show the kind of like the direction that your mind is going, but also like it shows the connection between you and your environment, basically. And then so when you really get connected and you start experiencing synchronicities, then literally what happens is that while you're kind of going through life, see, I see this one. Hold on, I'm gonna get this one. Boom. See that spider right there? Yeah. I've literally walked into like 5 or 6 or 7 of those already on this one single trail. And I've started 3 different videos and literally got a face planted by a spider web on all 3 of them. And so this is the first one that I've actually made it past like 10 seconds on. Hello. 1 second.
How are you?
Well, how are you?
Great, Ragnar.
So, dogs are a reflection of their owners. They, a lot of times will reflect the consciousness of the person who takes care of them. So, you know how I said before about the evil eye kind of thing? When I walked past that person, their dog started getting angry. Synchronicity, right? That was like in the middle of the video. This is kind of an example of a synchronicity in a way that like is not normally looked at. So it's like a really, really small synchronicity, but at the same time, it's like once you start to kind of acknowledge all these tiny things, you can start to acknowledge bigger things in a bigger way. And you basically, like, the smaller the synchronicity that you can acknowledge and you actually notice, the more synchronicities that you will start to experience in your life. So, goodness. Yeah, no judgment towards that dude, because a lot of, all these people have their own states of consciousness and everything like that. I'm just pointing out that the dogs a lot of times are a reflection of their owners, and that I experienced an emotion coming from that person, and it was very heavy, and it's nothing against them, and it's nothing against me. Well, technically it may have been pointed towards me, but it's not anything that affects me. Goodness gracious. Just like these spider webs. They're all over the place, and a lot of people would start freaking out because they keep running into spider webs. Well, I'm kind of thankful for the spider webs, because they're catching all the mosquitoes and gnats that would normally be flying around my face. So honestly, like, I don't mind running into spider webs. And this is all kind of examples as well as kind of a general state of being, or kind of consciousness, that I like to carry around with myself. So I like to exhibit unconditional positivity, and to literally never have a negative point of view. Now, this does not mean that I never have a negative point of view. Sometimes the collective consciousness can really, really be very powerful, and you can feel that energy. Like the 2 days ago or 3 days ago or so, there was a very huge level of collective frustration and aggravation, and that doesn't mean that I reacted to it, but I felt it the entire day. And this is really important, because it's something that shows that the collective consciousness really does affect every single person. And no matter how much you've closed your heart down, or how much you've disconnected yourself from reality, or from who you are or what you are, the collective consciousness is always going to affect you, no matter what, because it is you, and it is what you are. So it's all the things that you repress in yourself is literally being reflected through the collective consciousness to you. And so it's pointless to close down the heart, because literally it's going to be reflected to you until you open it back up anyways. I mean, it has a point to it. Like, it's pleasure-seeking gratification kind of deal, and it's like instant gratification, just like 95% of the people on this planet like to have with their McDonald's and their Burger Kings. Oh man, I don't even want to go deep on that one again, but I'll tell you what though, literally I can eat I wake up around 5 or 4:30 or so, sometimes 3:30, it depends on if I did yoga the day before, really. But so it's anywhere between 3:30 and 5:30, and I'll be up from 3:30 all the way until probably 7 or 8 o'clock before I actually get hungry. And what I'll do is I'll take spirulina, I will take lion's mane mushrooms, maca powder, and I'll basically just eat some bananas. I'll eat maybe like 3 bananas throughout the day, just to make sure that I'm not like actually really hungry, you know. But I'll literally, and I can go without eating anything for 3 or 4 days without really having uncomfort. And honestly, when I go throughout the rest of the day, I don't get headaches. I can feel my third eye opening, and this whole place on my forehead starts to get this really comfortable buzzing feeling, as if it's like getting a massage, or like the way that how you feel when you put your hand like this, like when you have like a headache, and you put your hand over your head and it makes it feel better. Like that feeling that your hand projects into your head when you do that is like the natural kind of feeling that I have in my forehead. And I'll also get tingles on my top of my head as well. And I've actually heard that this is called the third eye and the fourth eye, which sits on the very top of the head. The fourth eye sees cosmically, the third eye sees etherically. So it's almost like the fourth eye is the connection to see all others as self, but also to connect through how do I say, a spiral bound consciousness. I don't even know how to explain this. It's basically like this kind of like deeper connection with the entire cosmos that sits outside of time and outside of space, kind of. It's really weird. It's almost like you are all space and all time and all at the same time, but you are. And another thing for you is that we are constantly shifting through dimensions, and we are also moving through how would you explain? Okay, so each emotional state is almost as if it's like its own kind of experience on its own. So if you can actually start to reprogram your mind to seeing each one of these emotional states as it comes up, and then re-identifying yourself as seeing that as a positive and something that is there for your growth, then each of those emotional states that you're able to do that with will become positive, and they will be for your emotional and spiritual growth. Honestly, it's really that easy. But also at the same time, it takes a lot of persistence as well. And it takes a lot of kind of effort, I guess, but it's not really effort after a while, because it's like you put in initial effort, but then once the kind of seeds start to be sown, I guess, or what do you call it, reaped? You reap, yeah. Anyway, basically, it's once you start to get the harvest of whatever it is that you're planting, you actually don't have to try as hard anymore, because everything just becomes easier and easier and easier to do, because you have more and more energy to do it. So it's like when you start to practice these energy gaining exercises, you can literally go through an entire day without having to eat any food. You can sit there and use the sunlight as your food. You can act literally by using your breath and the sunlight, by connecting your consciousness with the sun. You can actually take in energy. Like you take in light and then you convert it to ATP in your body, and it makes energy out of it. And then you also are able to take into that light and then put it into each one of your cells, and then allow it to both repair your cells and allow it to activate your light body as well. Like the sun is one of the absolute most amazing sources of power. It is the most amazing source of power that we have, personally. And people don't understand how it's a living entity that wants to love and give light, literally. So once you connect to it, then you literally receive love and light from it, and you understand that it's a literal reflection of the heart of the world. or the heart of the universe, really, or this galaxy in a way. It's like a reflection of your heart. And once you see that, then every time that you look at the sun, you'll see your heart, and you'll start to love both it and it as yourself more and more. I have a feeling there's somebody gonna be coming down here, so I'm gonna go this way. Man, a lot of people's energy permeates through a lot of empathic people without them understanding what's going on. And it's very important to become aware of your thoughts to the point where you can pick out your thoughts from the collective thoughts. The collective thoughts can be really, really powerful sometimes, but you have to understand that your thoughts are literally only the thoughts that you identify with. So if you feel something coming through you and you choose not to identify with it as being yours, then it's not yours anymore. It goes away. It literally will move through you, and then it'll go back into the collective thought bubbles. And honestly, after it goes through you, it moves back into the earth with your positive energy, and it changes the entire collective thought bubble as well. So like, it's like an alchemical kind of reutilization of that energy, and then projecting it back into the earth so that it can literally, the earth's heart can alchemically start to transfer this energy from being a negative vibration to a positive vibration. But it's all about what you identify with and what you choose to believe is yours. Everything is a perception, like, is your perception of it. So like, literally everything is colored by the way that you see it. Everything is colored by the way you feel it. Everything is you. Everything's a reflection of you. Everything is it's all showing you different aspects of yourself. And there's something to learn from every single thing that you encounter in this lifetime. And there's both a positive and a negative of every single thing in this lifetime. So literally, even the thing that you feel is the most negative thing in the world, there's still just as positive of a viewpoint of that same thing. And you can choose to tap into either one of them. And even positive and negative are also an interpretation by you. And it's all about the way that you interpret whatever it is that you experience. So if you can learn to start to change your filter to start interpreting what you experience as all kind of being for your growth and for being for your best good, and you can really start to believe that, then literally everything that happens in your life is for your best good, and the universe literally will start to work in your favor. What a beautiful sun. I like that shot. Wait for it. Where'd it go? Where did you go, son? Oh, there you are. Open the third eye. Can't even see it. She's open the throat. Open the third eye. Open the heart. Love. Alright, that's it for today, you guys. I'll probably make something else later, but that's it for this morning at least. So, hope y'all have a great day.